Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to treat a green pool. Now, when your pool turns green, it means that your pool is in a state of imbalance. Now this could be from a lot of different things. It could be because your chlorine is low, your pH is off, your alkalinity is too low, there's too much rain or water that has kind of diluted your chemicals. It could also mean that there's a lot of algae growth in the pool, which can be from a few different things. Could be because your chlorine levels are too low, meaning that the algae is not being killed and then reproducing at a rapid rate. Or it could be because the water is not circulating properly. So the filtration system isn't really getting the job done and keeping that chlorine around long enough to kill all of the algae. So today we're going to talk about all those different things and how you can get rid of them so you can have a pristine blue pool that you can swim in during the summer months. Now, if you like this video, if you find it helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. We do our best to answer all the questions that you guys have in the comments section below. And if you want more information about pools, hot tubs, maintenance, repairs, installation, just type in the search bar what you're looking for. For example, if you wanted to learn how to winterize your pool, type in winterize and you'll see that come up right away. Or if you want to see videos about shock treatments, type in shock, and you'll see all the videos that we've done in the past. So let's go ahead and get started with this green pool situation. The first thing that you're going to want to do is check your chlorine levels. And remember, when you're checking your chlorine levels, it's not the combined chlorine that we're looking for. It's the free chlorine that we're looking for. So make sure you have enough free chlorine to kill all the algae that's in the water. And typically that number is going to be between 3 and 5 parts per million. So if you're at 2 parts per million and you have a green pool, chances are you're going to need to shock your pool. That will help kill off all the algae. And what happens when you shock your pool is you are increasing the amount of chlorine in the pool by a very high amount. So instead of having 3 to 5 parts per million of free chlorine, you're going to increase that to maybe 10, 15, even 20 parts per million of free chlorine. And that superchlorination will help kill off all the algae in the pool. Now, if you want to know exactly how much chlorine you need to add to shock your pool, you can click the link in the description below. There's a calculator there that will tell you exactly how much chlorine you need based on the size of your pool and the amount of chlorine that you're adding. Now, once you get your chlorine levels up, the next thing that you're going to want to do is get your pH balanced. And that means that you're going to want to test your pH levels. You can get pH test strips, you can get a Taylor K2006 CL kit, whatever you want to use to test your pH. But you're going to want to adjust your pH so that it's between 7.2 and 7.8. And what the pH actually does is it determines how well your chlorine is going to work. So if your pH is too high, your chlorine will not be as effective at killing the algae, and that's why you see people say that you want your pH balanced before you shock your pool. You don't necessarily have to balance your pH before you shock your pool, but it helps out because that will allow your chlorine to work better and therefore kill the algae that's in your pool. Now, if your pH is too low, under 7.2, that can also cause some problems. It can irritate your eyes and your skin. It can cause your chlorine to evaporate faster, and it can also damage your pool equipment. So you want to make sure that you raise that pH up if it's too low. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to test is your alkalinity. Your alkalinity is what stabilizes your pH. So if you have low alkalinity, your pH is going to bounce around all over the place. And that's not good because it's going to prevent your chlorine from working, and it's also going to prevent your other chemicals from working. So you're going to want to make sure that your alkalinity is where it needs to be. And typically, that number is between 80 and 120 parts per million. If it's below 80 parts per million, you're going to want to raise it up. And you can do that by adding something called alkalinity increaser or baking soda to your pool. The next thing that you're going to want to do is clean or even replace your filter. Now, if you have a sand filter, you can clean it by putting it on backwash, or you can put it on rinse. That will help clean out all the debris that's inside the filter and allow it to filter the water better and keep that chlorine in the water longer. If you have a cartridge filter, you may need to clean or even replace your cartridge. And a good rule of thumb is if you have a cartridge filter and you run it through 2 seasons, you should replace it. Now, if you're noticing that your pool is turning green and you're running your pump 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's still not filtering the water properly, chances are you might have a leak and you need to get that fixed. And another thing that you're going to want to do is brush your pool. So brushing your pool will help remove any algae that's stuck to the walls or the floor of the pool. And then allow your filter and your pump to pull it through the skimmer and the pump, and then into the filter, where it will be trapped by the filter media. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to shock your pool again. Now, when you shocked your pool initially, you brought those chlorine levels up to help kill the algae that was in the water, but now you need to maintain those levels of chlorine to keep more algae from growing, and you can do that by shocking your pool every week. Now, depending on how heavily you're using your pool, you may need to shock your pool more than once a week, and I would recommend checking your chlorine levels. If they're below 3 parts per million, go ahead and shock your pool. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to do is brush your pool again. So after you shocked your pool, you want to brush the walls and the floor, and that will help dislodge any algae that was starting to grow back, and then you can filter that out with your filter and pump system. The next thing that you're going to want to do is get your water tested professionally. Now, if you don't have a pool professional that you use, you can take a sample of your water to your local pool store, and they'll test it for free, and they'll be able to tell you exactly what's in the water and what you need to do to balance the water. The next thing that you're going to want to do is add any chemicals that are necessary. Now, when you get your water professionally tested, they'll be able to tell you what you need to add to your pool. It could be more chlorine, it could be more pH adjustment, it could be more alkalinity, it could be anything. They'll be able to tell you exactly what you need and how much of it you need. And another thing that you can do is clean your skimmer baskets and your pump baskets. Now, if there's a bunch of debris in your skimmer basket or your pump basket, that can restrict the flow of water and reduce the amount of water that's being filtered. So clean those out, and you'll allow more water to pass through the filter, and therefore more chlorine will remain in the water and kill more algae. If you have a Polaris or some type of robotic vacuum, you're going to want to run that to clean up all the debris that's in the water. That will help prevent future algae outbreaks because algae likes to grow on debris that's in the pool. So clean that up and you'll be good to go. If you have any additional questions about treating a green pool, go ahead and comment down below. And like I said earlier, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. That really helps us out. And if you want to see more videos like this, click the card above. We have a video there that shows you how to shock your pool. And if you want to see all the videos that we have, just go to our homepage and we have videos on everything pool and spa related. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.